WILD Jaeger's niche is taking American hunters to Europe to hunt European wild game.
Yeah, okay, he's on that doe. He's not even paying attention. He's got a hot doe.
In this episode, we take John MacCallum hunting for roe bucks in the hills of Germany.
Look at that guy. Hold him up. Push his head forward so we can see what he's got. Look at that guy. Nice. Congratulations, John. Weidman's Heil, buddy. Weidman's Heil.
All right, folks. Ricky Mills here.
I'm John MacCallum.
And welcome back to WILD Jaeger Outdoor TV.
My name is Ricky Mills, a retired Special Forces officer and the host of WILD Jaeger Outdoor TV. As a Green Beret, my job was to infiltrate into foreign countries by land, sea, or air, using my language skills and cultural sensitivity to accomplish the mission, whatever it may be. As a global hunter, I'm inviting you to follow me and my team of international hunters as we travel the globe on a quest to hunt every country and every huntable game species. This is WILD Jaeger.
All right, folks, this week on WILD Jaeger Outdoor TV, we're focusing specifically on two subjects. One, we're going to do an introduction to John MacCallum. John, welcome to the house, the studio.
Good morning.
And we're going to do an introduction to John, to all you out there, and we're also going to talk a little bit about the history of WILD Jaeger, but then we're going to dive into how easy it is to cross the pond and actually go hunting in Europe. It is not hard. John, you've been across the pond how many times?
At least 3 different times. It's very simple. We have pro staff in every country pretty much that we're going to hunt, and it's pretty much cradle to grave. You communicate with us exactly what you want to do, what you want your wants and your needs, and the game you're going to focus on, and our pro staff will pretty much be there to pick you up and take you 100% of the way.
Highly recommended that you take trips that either John, myself, or somebody traveling from the States on if that's your thing. So if you need to be received by an American or English-speaking pro staff, you're not comfortable with being picked up, say, by Ivan Eady from Spain or Peter Hochstein from Hungary in Budapest or Valencia, Spain. I'm typically traveling across the pond at least once or twice a year. John, you get over there on average?
About once every 3 or 4 years, yeah.
Exactly. So John, let's talk a little bit about WILD Jaeger and where this came from. April 2010, I had retired from the Army in October 31st of 2009 and wanted to get into the hunting and fishing business. Just retired after 20 years of active federal service. John, you got 25 years in the Navy?
Yeah, I have 24 and a half as a CB. I just retired in October of 2017.
And then we linked up. I graduated from the German hunting course in April, and we went to our first trade show, hunting and tactical goods trade show in Germany, which was the IWA. We quickly found out that marketing in Europe does not happen the way it does over here. We found a niche in the market. I called John and I said, John, I'm starting a business. I'm looking for some guys to do it with. Would you be interested? And
I was like, sure. I mean, Ricky and I have known each other since we're probably
little kids.
Yeah, 12, 13 years old. Ricky and I hunted and fished the same waters and probably the same woods.
Some of the things that you're going to need when you're traveling on a WILD Jaeger hunting and fishing adventure is, one, you're going to need a passport. Passport can be obtained by just going to your local post office, providing them with your birth certificate and some of the standard documents that you need to get this official document, but I think it takes up to 6 months is a good buffer for you to get this document. It's got a picture of you on the inside, and that's your official paperwork for you to fly across the pond and enter a foreign country. You're going to go through customs in that place. They're going to open your passport. They're going to look at it, look at you, make sure that's the right person in the picture. They may ask you why you're traveling. No problem with them telling them that you're on a hunting trip. You're traveling to Hungary to hunt, and they're going to open it. They're going to stamp you into whatever country you're entering, and then you're going to be good to go. Another document you're going to need when you're traveling, you're going to want your driver's license, because in some countries you can drive, and that's up to you. On a WILD Jaeger hunting and fishing venture, we're always trying to cater to you, so normally we have you getting picked up by a vehicle in the country. John, you've been picked up by us at the airport several times.
Several times. And it really is simple. All you need is just get your paperwork squared away, get everything all set, and you can even fly with your bow or whatever you're going to use.
Another document you're going to want to have with you is your hunting license, your current stateside hunting license, and then your hunter safety card. I always travel with both. You do not want to get caught in that situation where you travel with your current hunting license but you don't have your hunter safety card, and then now you're across the pond spending 24 to 48 hours on the computer, going online, paying $5, and having them email you a copy of your hunter education card. Hunter education card and current hunting license, passport, driver's license, and you're hunting.
This episode of Wild Jaeger Outdoor TV is brought to you by Fox Pro, high performance game calls, proudly made in the USA. Top Rack, the best European mount hanger available.
I love all veterans. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and then now Space Force.
Because of my injuries, my accident, my status as a disabled veteran, we are able to positively advise soldiers that have physical and mental injuries. They're in those middle stages of like, I'm hurt, I'm injured. My body is not gonna be what it was before.
Bow, perfect.
The Wounded Warrior effort of taking soldiers back out and getting them in the field, getting them hunting, returning them to their roots, and returning them to something that internally is a comfortable place, so that they can forget for even just a short period of time and move on a little bit and spend time, some fellowship and some camaraderie with other people that share the same interests.
That's awesome. Oh, you got shot.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you, Rick.
It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to get you out here hunting.
Yes.
That's the big question that I get a lot of times. There's so many veteran support organizations. Hey, Rick, you're a retired Army guy. Give me an example of one that you think's a good veteran support organization. And
Wild Jaeger Veteran Adventures.
And we created one. We went out and we built our own. So if you're wondering where you can go to find out information about how you can give to support Wild Jaeger Veteran Adventures, you can go to our website at www.wildjaeger.com and then look for the Wild Jaeger Veteran Adventures page. When you scroll to the bottom, there's a donate button there. You can volunteer your land for access for hunting. You can volunteer game on your land. Volunteering your lodge or your cabin for space for veterans to come in and stay in. Feel free to call me or call John anytime to talk about what you'd like to do to help us get veterans in the outdoors and get them out on a Wild Jaeger Veteran Adventure. So now that we talked about how you're gonna get to your hunt, let's talk about some hunting that we did. John, what was your first trip over to Germany like?
So the first trip to Germany was pretty cool. It's a little bit different than from what we have here. In Germany, it's mostly traditional. So your hoaxits and tri-bucks will be set up for you, and they've probably been there for a couple hundred years in the same location. And it's a lot more personal, to be quite honest. The animals there are, you really have to know what you're going to take. You have to know the sex of the species, you have to know the age of the species, because they want to maintain a certain ratio, male to female to offspring. And every bit of that animal is pretty well claimed before you've even taken it. It could be with restaurants or with locals or other business. But it's amazing. The woods actually smell different, they feel different when you're there. You will not find anything like as small as a cigarette butt in the woods. You won't find a receipt, you won't find a Mylar balloon, you won't find a plastic bag. You just don't see it. It just doesn't happen. There's no water bottles out there. It's not that people don't take those things into the field, it's just that whatever they take in, they leave with. And if they see something on the way out, they pick it up and they take it out.
All right, folks, John MacCallum and myself are in the tree stand now. It's 8:28, so around 8:30. Our objective is to sit in the hoaxits right here because we have a good vantage point on a really nice buck that I've been seeing. Seen him several times. I've had him at 200 yards. I've had him at 30 yards. Been saving him for John here. John finally showed up, so we're hoping that he sticks his head out tonight and John gets a crack at it.
One thing that I would like to point out as you're watching this and future episodes of Wild Jaeger Outdoors are these rock walls or stone walls. Keep in mind, some of these stone walls are hundreds, if not thousands of years old.
That's what, 220, 230. Okay. Definitely a doe.
We're watching this doe, waiting for that buck to show up. And to our right, a doe and two fawns step out.
We got three deer. That's a doe. That's a doe and two kids. That's a doe and two kids. We got deer moving everywhere. That's a doe and two kids. I've seen her before. All right, folks. It's 5:15 in the morning. On the 23rd, it's day 2 of John MacCallum's European Roe Deer hunt.
Anytime you're hunting roe deer in Europe, you should stop and scan the terrain when transitioning from the woods to the field or cornfield to wheat field. The roebuck dominates anywhere from a 400-meter area in Hungary to a 1-kilometer area in Germany.
I can't tell what it is. Just wait. Just wait. It doesn't know we're here. Don't move.
It's a buck. It's just not the buck we're looking for. In Germany, this is known as a Vierende, or four-point. It's the rut in Germany. Bucks are on the move. We walk around the corner and straight into this small buck. Don't let their size confuse you. Your first close encounter with a roe buck will get you fired up.
They're both looking straight at us. Oh, sure, her head's back down and he's still looking. He's looking right at you.
That's a good buck.
That's your deer. That's your buck. That's the buck you're supposed to shoot. They're active. They're going. Give a call. Go ahead and call.
Hold on. I thought I saw something closer.
He's paying attention to that. Deer. Okay, he's on that doe. He's not even paying attention. He's got a hot doe. He doesn't care what you're doing. Hey, that deer's still up there. There's another deer to the left. We've been having a hell of a day. I have no clue how many deer we've seen today. 8, 10 deer.
That last buck we saw was a good buck.
What we're doing right now is we're sitting in here. We got a buck on a hot doe up on the ridge line, and we're trying to decide whether to go after it or not. We were up till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning last night. We need to get some sleep. So he's all the way up on top of the ridge line. So we gave it 9 minutes. If she pokes her head out by 8:15,
Go chase him.
we're gonna go chase him. But if she
Ricky's
doesn't,
hoping that she doesn't.
he ain't going nowhere. He's not going anywhere.
This episode of Wild Jaeger Outdoor TV is brought to you by Box Pro, high performance game calls, proudly made in the USA. Top Rack, the best European mount hanger available.
Just stay there. You might come out.
That evening we decided to try something different. We climbed the ridge and got above where we thought the buck was going to step out.
Meters away. We were 30 meters away from that buck.
Hey, just came in right here. I'm not sure coming all the way from this path, but I couldn't say anything. He just came in from this path over here to the right. Came in about from 50 meters, and I couldn't get Rick. I couldn't say anything because he was looking at me, and so he walks down and finally I was like, Rick, he's over here to the right.
I was looking in a totally different direction. All of a sudden, I see this shadow moving from the right.
We nailed
I'm pretty sure that's the buck we were looking for. It looked smaller at first, but then he got down here, and I saw a little higher, and I was like, oh, that's him.
Oh, wow! Let's go get him.
There you go. John MacCallum and his first roe deer. Tell him what happened, man.
Oh, it was awesome. We came in, we started in the Hoxit, right? Or the Huxit?
Yeah, Hoaxits.
Hoaxits, earlier today in the American ones. And so Rick chirps over and says, hey, let's get down, let's go over to where we see the other buck at. Because we're already up on top of the hill, we're working from the way down since the wind's blowing that way. So we get down, come over, we see 2 females in the little plateaus adjacent to us on the left-hand side, and the wind's going from left to right uphill, so everything's perfect. And Rick and I were sitting there chatting, and he says, hey, I think they're going to come in from left to right. So we're focusing left to right, and then the next thing you know, I see him. He starts out like 75 meters coming in a clear, and he's going right to left, total opposite. But I couldn't move because he busted me. He was looking right at me. Couldn't smell us though. The wind was there, a lot of noise. So he comes down, and I'm like, Rick, look over to the right. And so Rick gets on him, and I'm like, all right, tell me when. And he's like, not yet, not yet, not yet. And I'm thinking, Rick, hurry up before he goes in the trees. And so we busted him like 5 feet from the tree line. You'll see in the video. Oh, phenomenal.
Again, like he said, we were in the tree stand. The wind was blowing. We did several calls. The wind calmed down, and just nothing was coming. And I really didn't have a feeling that I thought we were sitting there for nothing. We decided to move. We had seen this buck many times before, and we knew where he was. We'd seen him in the same field where John pulled the trigger on him 3 times. We got him on video 3 times. And now he's ours. John, congratulations. We moved another, over. We sat up on top. The wind was coming up the hill into our faces. We sat right out in the open. I mean, we were perfect. Yeah, we were in the middle of the open, leaning up, leaning back on the ground. You know how you sit where you're facing downhill. John to my right, on to the left. That buck came in. I had no clue he was there. And then I hear John, Rick. Awesome, man. First roe deer in Europe. What's the experience like? What do you think?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I got here, it was real easy to get here. The systems are all set up. Rick hooked me up with Hugo. Took me out. I mean, the experience has been phenomenal. All the tree stands are all set up. The woods are pristine. And they told me before, prior to getting here, that things are going to smell different. Things are going to look different. I mean, you get here, and unlike the States, there's no posted signs. Everybody knows what's going on. The hunters in the woods are really the environmentalists in this country. Absolutely. They're the ones that take care of everything. They set, kind of the game limits. They determine, what's going to happen. And it's always quality deer that they take, or quality animals that they take. It's a great experience.